Hey, what's going on, everybody? RogersBase here, and you probably logged onto Crunchyroll or Funimation tonight looking for One Piece anime episode 780. I wanted to very quickly address this for you guys in case you did not watch my review of last week's episode. One Piece episode 780 is not going to be released until next weekend because this weekend in Japan is the Nagoya Women's Marathon. So this happened last year as well. I think we were right in the middle of the Luffy versus Doflamingo fight, so don't go looking around the internet for One Piece 780. You're not going to find it. It's not coming out until next week. But even though there's no One Piece anime episode this week, I still wanted to do a video tonight because this is a topic that a lot of you have asked for me to talk about since it first came out about 24 hours ago. And that is the news that Toonami is going to drop One Piece from their Saturday night block, and that now there is not going to be any way to watch One Piece on American television. You're going to be stuck watching the simulcasts of the subs on Funimation.com and Crunchyroll, and also the dubs via the DVD releases, the official Funimation DVD releases. All right, I know I should feel salty about this, and I should be upset about this. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not really too bummed about this. I actually think that Tokyo Ghoul, which is what's replacing One Piece, is a better choice for the One Piece spot in the Toonami block. They're going to be airing the uncensored dub of Tokyo Ghoul. I know some people feel mixed about the Tokyo Ghoul anime. I actually think it's pretty good. I've never really talked about that on my channel before, but here you go. I'm laying it out there. And on top of that, speaking as somebody who is a very hardcore One Piece fan, obviously, I talk about it all the time on my channel, I already watch the simulcast with subs every week on Crunchyroll and on Funimation. It's legal to watch it there. I watch it there every week, so I'm completely caught up to the anime. And if I really wanted to watch the Funimation dub of some of those old arcs of One Piece, I'm just going to buy the DVDs. They're releasing those season DVDs all the time. They just released the one from Marineford. Dub's pretty good, actually, right now. And here's the other thing about One Piece and Toonami and their history. First off, if you haven't read it, there's a really good article about this that was just posted today by Jose over at the One Piece podcast. Go check that out. I will put a link down in the comments below where you can go read that article. Really, really good read where he basically gives the history of One Piece on Cartoon Network and on Adult Swim and on Toonami. How Turner's tried their best to actually make One Piece successful in North America. But the thing is, One Piece is probably never going to be as popular as Dragon Ball Z and Naruto in North America. Guess what, guys? That's okay. People don't have to like One Piece, even though you like One Piece, even though I like One Piece. If the mainstream American audience is not huge on One Piece, that's okay. We still have the simulcasts. We're still reading it every week in Shonen Jump. We're still reading the new chapters and watching the simulcast. It's not a huge deal. And people are blowing this out of proportions and making it seem like, oh my God, One Piece is never going to be successful in North America. Oh my God. It was never going to be on the level of Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. And to be completely honest, I think there was a window where it could have been. The window where it could have been is if they would have started One Piece on the Toonami block, not with the Davy Back fight arc, but with Water 7, which is where the dub was at that time. They could have just skipped the Davy Back fight arc episodes. I like the Davy Back fight arc. I think it's funny. I think there's some really good comedy bits in there. It is not a good introduction to people into the world of One Piece. I think the audience that's watching One Piece on Toonami or on Adult Swim wants action-heavy stuff, right? The Naruto audience, the Dragon Ball Z, mainstream anime audience in North America. The Davy Back fight arc is not the right arc to introduce those people to this world. Water 7 was. Water 7, Enies Lobby, sure. And I actually think the pacing of that arc, or both of those arcs, in the anime is pretty good. So I think if they would have started there, we would have been all right. But also, they are canceling the dub of One Piece on Toonami a single episode short of what is arguably one of the most hype and most exciting arcs in the first half of One Piece, which is the Sabaody Archipelago arc, where we meet Law for the first time, and Hawkins, and Apu, and all the other supernovas, and Luffy punches a celestial dragon, and we see Kizaru, and we see Rayleigh. I mean, we're one episode away. And yet, they chose to show the filler arc, the Spa Island filler arc, and they went through all of Thriller Bark. And again, I love Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark is not the most hype arc of the story. And it certainly is not going to be an arc that really gets people excited for One Piece if they weren't already excited for One Piece. What they should have done And I know people will absolutely disagree with me and be like, no, but what about having some sort of scene where like they can watch one episode and then go to the next episode and understand the story? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. One Piece is like 700 episodes long, 800 episodes long almost now. And continuity really does not matter if you're watching the dub. I think if you watch the dub and you're being introduced to it, you want to see something exciting. You're tuning in for the first time. You want to see something that's going to grab you. And I think the comedy bits of One Piece will grab a certain audience, like a certain demographic. It's not going to grab the Toonami demographic. They should have just waited. Honestly, they should have waited. Either they should have started with Water 7, and then they should have skipped Thriller Bark or parts of Thriller Bark, and they should have just gone right into Marineford. Because Marineford, right now, has been dubbed by Funimation. That is absolutely the arc where a lot of mainstream people jumped onto One Piece for the first time. That is not an argument. There are a ton of people who jumped into the series due to the events of Marineford. In fact, there's a lot of people who are hardcore One Piece fans who think that somehow ruined the fandom and that so many new people came in after Marineford who just wanted to see fights that now we can't have like an enjoyable adventure in the manga. And I think that's wrong. I don't agree with that statement, but a lot of people feel that way. And I think that had they shown Marineford on Toonami, that would have gotten, I think, sort of the buzz and the excitement that people expected out of One Piece on that block. And they didn't do that. They failed in doing that. And I think a lot of people still kind of don't like One Piece in North America if they're not familiar with One Piece due to the 4Kids dub all those years ago. Kids who grew up, they were 10 years old, they saw the 4Kids dub of One Piece and they were like, oh my god, this is terrible. And they were completely turned off of it. And even though there's a really good dub now, Funimation's doing some awesome work, they don't want to give it a chance. Right? So, I kind of think this cancellation was inevitable. I think we were eventually going to see the downfall of One Piece on Toonami anyway. I'm not upset. I'm really not. I think Tokyo Ghoul is a good fit. I'm going to continue watching the simulcast every week. I'm going to continue reading the manga every week. This doesn't change anything for me, and I think for the majority of you who watch my channel, this doesn't change anything for you either. And if you really do like the dub and you're a fan of the dub, first off, that's awesome because I have a lot of fans at Funimation, and I actually think they're doing a really good job. But two, you can just buy the DVDs. The DVDs are readily available. And then that way you don't have to sit through every single episode, especially if you're a One Piece fan and you already know what's going to happen. You're not going to want to sit through a lot of that. Again, the pacing in the Thriller Bark arc is not very good. And even if we would have gone through Sabaody into Impel Down and some of the stuff with Amazon Lily, I don't know if you guys remember watching the anime week to week with Impel Down. It was not good. Impel Down is one of my all-time favorite arcs of One Piece. The anime ruined the Impel Down arc in terms of pacing. It was slowed down to a complete slog, and I think if people who are watching this show on Toonami were watching that, they'd be like, oh my god, why does this show go so slowly? Then again, those people are watching Bleach, those people are watching some of the other shows on the Toonami block, but I do think, like I said, that Bleach is a little more action-heavy than One Piece. Naruto is a little more action-heavy. Dragon Ball Z is a little more action-heavy, so I understand why One Piece didn't do well. Don't be upset about this. There are plenty of other ways to watch One Piece. So those are my thoughts on the whole One Piece Toonami cancellation. Again, not really that upset about it. This doesn't change anything for me, but I know a lot of you wanted to hear my thoughts on this. I actually left a pretty big, I left a pretty big comment thread on King of Lightning's video, his latest One Piece video, and on For Neverworld's video on this topic that I think went up last night, the one where he talked about Tokyo Ghoul replacing One Piece. I left pretty much the same thoughts that I addressed in this video in that comment on his video, but I figured I would just do my own video and talk about it with you guys, considering the fact that there was no new episode of One Piece that aired with the simulcast this week. So, I've gone on long enough. I've been talking for 9 minutes. If there's anything you guys want to hear me talk about in regards to the Toonami dub or the, the future of the Funimation dub of One Piece, feel free to hit me up down in the comments below if you have any questions for me on it. Honestly, I'm enjoying it so far. I think some of the voice actors for the Marineford arc were pretty good based on what I heard in the DVDs already, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I am most excited for when it gets into Fishman Island and Dressrosa because I'm not a big fan of Fishman Island, and I think a dub would really do the Fishman Island arc good. They can get some really good talent to maybe go through the Fishman Island arc and talk about certain things, and I want to see who they're going to cast as Shirahoshi and Vanderdecken and Hody. So I'm actually looking forward to watching the Fishman Island arc of the dub of One Piece. But I won't be doing that on Toonami. and that's fine. So like this video, if you liked anything I had to say, please be sure to subscribe because I bring you guys reviews of both the anime and the manga every single week, as well as news videos, and I have some cool Nintendo content coming up next week as well, and please be sure to subscribe, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!